Every single fantasy football platform is wildly different. If you're not looking at the ADP, comparing it to different sites, then it can be easy to miss out on the bargains. I'm going to run you through the 10 best picks in the first 10 rounds of drafts on Yahoo right now. Round 1, Breece Hall. Despite playing with a miserable set of quarterbacks and a horrible offensive line, not to mention coming off an ACL injury, Breece Hall led all running backs with 93 targets, second in receptions with 74. Due to the ineptitude of the Jets offense, though, Hall only finished with 8 touchdowns, which was 17th most among running backs. 36 of the running backs had more attempts inside the red zone than Breece Hall did. The Jets, they ranked 4th worst in percentage of drives to end in points. Even with Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles injury, that's going to help Breece Hall and this offense be far more productive this year. Round 2, Drake London, available at pick 22. Drake London got a massive upgrade at quarterback in Kirk Cousins. He's been the 4th most accurate quarterback over the last 10 years with a 67% completion rate. London, he hasn't really put it all together yet. He didn't score a lot of touchdowns last year with only 2, but we know what kind of talent he has. We know how accurate Kirk Cousins can be. So it's very easy to project him to a better role this year. Let's conservatively say that Kirk Cousins gives Drake London a 25% target share, which is realistic given the lack of options around Drake London. And if Kirk Cousins is completing an average of 25 completions a game, that's 6.2 for Drake London, 106 receptions. Only 4 wide receivers had more than that in 2023. So it doesn't take a lot for us to get Drake London really close to the top. While you are here, hit that subscribe button down below. We have so much redraft content on the channel with people like JJ Zacharyson, Josh Norris, Hayden Winks, Heath Cummings, Pete Overzet, so much good stuff helping you win in 2024. Round 3, Devon Achane, available at the top of the 3rd round. It seems incredibly unlikely that Devon Achane's going to continue to rush for 8 yards per carry like he did last year. The only other running back who came close to it was Keaton Mitchell, and he didn't even manage 50 rush attempts last year. But he's already being used differently down this year. In the preseason, we're seeing more targets further downfield than he ever saw in his rookie season. We want the ceiling that Devon Achane can bring for us. If you're scared in fantasy football, then fine, move over. Don't take Devon Achane. But he's already put on a bit of weight into the range, which feels a lot better for running backs. We know how explosive he can be. We know what this Miami running scheme's like. Devon Achane could be a league winner. Round 4, Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers is just so smooth. He's so explosive. He can separate so easily. For a player of his size, he has no problem just hauling in the ball, really able to just have a massive catch point. And every clip out of Giants training camp at the minute, it's all Malik Nabers. And yes, the Giants, they don't have many good players, but that just helps Nabers. He might be able to put up a 30% target share. Even with Daniel Jones at quarterback, he can be worth it. Round 5, Mark Andrews, available at pick 54. The biggest argument against Mark Andrews seems to be the fact that he's 28 years old. Well, I need to tell you about this guy called Travis Kelce, who's 34 years old and has been on an absolute tear for the last 5 years as the greatest fantasy tight end we've ever seen. If Travis Kelce can play well in his 30s, Mark Andrews can still play well at age 28, 29. Since Lamar Jackson took over in 2019, Andrews has averaged over 50 yards per game in every season. When Andrews went down injured in 2023, he was leading all tight ends in touchdowns with 6, a number that was only beaten last year by Sam Laporta, despite the fact that Andrews only played 10 games. Round 6, Rashee Rice, pick 62. Rice averaged 17.0 PPR points per game from week 11 onwards in 2023. Yes, there's a threat of suspension, but it seems to have gone away. It seems like the Chiefs now are preparing for that to be a 2025 thing rather than a 2024 thing, which means you should be drafting him. If the Chiefs got confidence, you should have confidence. Available at pick 62, he can have an even better year than his rookie season. While he eats underneath, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown can absolutely clear things out, keep the defense honest, and it just feels like we're setting up for another Patrick Mahomes MVP season. Whether you agree or disagree on any of these players, I want to hear about it in the comments. And every time you comment, if you're a subscriber to this channel, you get entered into our summer giveaway where we're giving away $100 cold hard cash, 12 months free membership to all our premium content, including my DFS write-ups, Rich's Dynasty stuff, so much of it, a $25 voucher for our merchandise store, and so much more. Leave a comment. Round 7, Jaylen Warren, my favorite running back when it comes to drafts this year. He had the second most explosive running back rate last year, behind only Devon Achane. And Warren, he was excellent in both the receiving and the rushing game. He had 89 catches in the last 2 seasons, 74 targets in 2023. The only running backs who had more targets were Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, and Jahmyr Gibbs. That feels like pretty good company to be in with. Now Warren's playing with the 2 quarterbacks who led the league in check down rate when kept clean in 2023. That was Russell Wilson leading the whole league at 19% and Justin Fields at 13%. That just means that even when they weren't pressured, those quarterbacks were looking to get the ball to their running backs, and that's where Jaylen Warren can absolutely feast. Round 8, Chase Brown, available at pick 95. The Bengals, they've got a 2-way committee for 2024 with Zach Moss and Chase Brown, but everything we're hearing out of training camp, everything we're hearing from Bengals beat reporters and Bengals coaching staff, it's all about Chase Brown. They want Chase Brown to be the lead out of these 2 backs. Led all rookie running backs in yards per target with 11.2. Had a very respectable 4.1 yards per carry. Chase Brown, available in the 90s. He could be the kind of running back who gives you so much bang for your buck. Round 9, Caleb Williams, this year's 101 in the NFL draft, available at pick 101. He averaged 7.8 rush attempts per game in college. Even last year, when it was slightly less, it was still 7.1. Rush attempts are an absolute cheat code for the quarterback position when we're talking about fantasy. Since the start of the 2000 season, there's been 113 instances of QBs rushing for 5 attempts or more, and 44% of those players averaged at least 18 points per game or higher. That is such a valuable flaw. We can't overlook that Caleb Williams has come into the league as a 101 pick and has one of the best surrounding talents that any quarterback has walked into the league with over the last few years. Keenan Allen coming off a career year, DJ Moore coming off a career year, Rome Odunze, a top 10 caliber stud, Gerald Everett, who spent his first 5 seasons playing with Shane Waldron, Cole Kmet, who we know is good for spike weeks, and DeAndre Swift, who the Bears spent good money on to be a good outlet for Caleb Williams. Everything is set up for Caleb Williams to succeed. Round 10 with an ADP of 115, it's Trevor Lawrence. There are so many things that could break just a little bit better for Trevor Lawrence this year and set him up to be just a massive improvement on last year. The offensive line last year was so banged up. They went out, they added Mitch Morse from the Buffalo Bills to play center. He only allowed 1 sack last year. Cam Robinson, the left tackle, missed 8 games last year. Anton Harrison, who played right tackle, he was a first-round pick last year, but it didn't go too well. That was his first year moving from left tackle in college to right tackle in the pros. So there's definitely reason for hope that he can come in and hit the ground better this year. Lawrence, he was 17th in completion rate when kept clean last year, but 28th when pressured. If the guys keep the pressure off him a little bit more, then those pass completions, they're going to go up. It's going to be much better for him. Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis are absolutely going to threaten defenses as downfield threats. They'll open things up, which will make room for Christian Kirk, who has been Trevor Lawrence's best friend ever since he got drafted. When Christian Kirk's on the field, Trevor Lawrence averages 4.8 more points per game than when Kirk isn't out there. So as long as Christian Kirk's out there, as long as this offensive line's healthy, this could be a really good season for Trevor Lawrence. Those are the best picks in the first 10 rounds of Yahoo Fantasy Leagues. We've got the worst picks coming up on this channel. We've also got picks for ESPN, NFL, and Sleeper. Leave a comment. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. We've got so much redraft content for you here in the Fantasy Sanctuary. Hit that subscribe button.